Hey folks, this is Matt Rainwater, and today we're going to read episode 13 of Trailer Park Warlock, and this concludes the introductory story arc to Gran, Jake's grandma, and here we go. I gotta say, these early episodes, I made the titles so teeny tiny. It's kind of ridiculous, but maybe that's something when I just have free time, I'll go back and fix. I'm glad that I fixed it later on, because I feel like the titles are much bigger and more readable now. All right. So anyway, the name of episode 13 is From Jar to Hat, and so we pick up where we left off last time. Darla and Gran basically tried to rid Darla's truck of all these cab roaches, but also ended up breaking the windows and, as it turns out, breaking Gran's jar. Was that supposed to happen? Sounds like you purged more than a couple of cab roaches. Miss Baker. What, honey? That's an ad. Yeah, that's. I don't know if this is actually This might have been an original panel. For some reason, it looks a little fresher to me. Your jar is broken. Jake kept my ashes in a jar? Yeah. What kind of jar is it, Darla? I think it was a mayonnaise jar. Oh my word. That boy. So what's the damage, hun? Well, I saved most of your ash. No, I mean your cab. Oh, looks like the windows are shattered, but it's running again. I'm so sorry. It's okay. I think insurance will cover it. You, on the other hand, need a new container fast. Not until I've had a couple words with Jake first. So, Darla's put Gran's ashes into her hat to hold her in there. And we go back to Jake's trailer. This is a pretty short episode, but it's a goodie. It was Dad's idea, Gran. He was too cheap to buy. He was too cheap to buy you a proper urn. I'm in a mayonnaise jar, Jake. You could have made one. That's one of my favorite lines in season one. It's interesting because we never see this poster ever again. I've been making a running gag, especially in later episodes, of like Jake's poster keeps changing. But in this first season, I kept it pretty consistent, and it was this "Know Your Sigil" poster. Just a little background detail. I'm a warlock, not an artist, Gran. A cookie tin would have made a better container. Yes, you are an artist, Jake. I don't know. This conversation cracks me up. If you can paint a sigil, you can make me a goddamn urn. This I know for sure is a new. These two panels, I believe, were completely added. It's funny the things you forget. And it was by suggestion of editor Ethan LeBlanc. Basically, the idea was he wanted to make sure that Darla was included in the scene because she kind of doesn't feel like she's there. I thought that was a good idea, and this also adds kind of a nice little it's flavor. You know what I mean? Hell, if you can make yourself a golem, you can make me an urn, Jake. I hadn't even told you about Buddy. I did, Jake. Need one of these? Nah, I'm good, but thanks, I guess. I think this is added. This was added too. Oh yeah, this whole part. I added way more to this scene because in the original comic, the original print comic, I don't know if they had this conversation or this part of the conversation. Sorry, y'all. I know this is a little distracting. Um, but it's good. I'm glad I did add it. We're going to have a long talk about your golem. I'm sure we will. Well, I'm heading out. What about your hat? Seems like you need it more than I do, Miss Baker. Say, Darla? Yeah, Miss Baker? Call me Gran from now on. Alright. It's really nice catching up with you. Let's do it again, honey. Or hun. Likewise, y'all have a good night. We'll try. So, Jake, what are you putting me in this time? Soda bottle? Milk jug? Okay, Gran. I'll try and figure something out. So, I'm just going to take a brief pause here. So, what I'm realizing is that this episode was going to be really, really short if it was just the print version. So this was something that I added later on by editor Ethan's suggestion to kind of flesh it out. And I'm glad I did because it does add a little bit more character to all three of their interactions. Like I said, it's really funny the things you forget. This is like done probably about 2 years ago. And since then I've drawn how many episodes? Like 50 plus? More than 50. More like 60. Anyway, so now we cut to Darla's truck's parked outside of a store. And we see her buying some clay. And we cut to, this is supposed to be Darla's apartment. So, if it's not obvious, and I can't imagine it's obvious because somebody in the comments, I remember somebody in the comments on this episode, not that one person's opinion determines how the story's told, but I definitely remember somebody being like, well, whose place is that? I'm like, it's not obvious that it's Darla's? She's using the oven? I don't know. So anyway, we see that Darla is making something, and she's made an urn for Gran. And that is the end of the episode. So, some thoughts. Yeah, so I mean, that's what happens, I guess, when you take a print comic and you make it into a webtoon. There are going to be times when that translation requires a little bit of extra effort to make it work in the webtoon. And that has been the case for season 1. And I'm reminding myself about it too, because that was at least. So for this episode, I mean, I must have made at least. Seemed like it was about 10 panels, like 10 extra panels, and including like added conversation. Just it's a little bit more than what you would see if you read this in print. And I'm kind of wondering what I'll do if I ever make a print edition, like a full printed edition of this comic, like a collection, trade paperback, whatever, what have you. Will I be able to include that scene in that collected edition? Those are just thoughts that I'm having right now. Thoughts that will be answered later in the future. Anyway, it has always been, and will continue to be a pleasure to read these with y'all. I hope y'all are having a good day. I will talk to y'all again soon. And as usual, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Matt J. Rainwater on Twitter, at Matthew Rainwater on Instagram, and if you're watching this, you already follow me on Patreon. But just in case you need to tell your CPA, clergy, friends, family, it's patreon.com/Matt J. Rainwater. And I will talk to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good one.